Hi, welcome to Mamas and Mannies, and I'm your host, Trina. This is a self care podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of me time. And as usual, this is a short form podcast, so we definitely keep our episodes most under 20 minutes and definitely try to keep most under 15. But I think most of them have been under 15 minutes. So, first thing we start off with is a motivational quote or a mantra that will get our week started off. So, let's go ahead and dive in and get to that mantra today. And actually, this week is going to be reminders to help you throughout the week. If I can get to, hold on, let me look at them better. They're going to be reminders for the week. And it is 8 reminders. The first reminder is make time for yourself and take breaks. So, as we've talked about before, you want to take a day each week if you can. If you can't take a full day each week, try to do like a morning. If you work 5 days a week, try to, if you can, maybe Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon, just for yourself to kind of decompress, either decompress from the week that you had or get things ready for the upcoming week. That would really help. And remember, when you're at work, each day you're at work, remember to take your break. Take your lunch break, take your 15-minute breaks if you get those. That way you can step away from the job and reset your mind on something else. Next is it's okay to have bad and unproductive days. If you start off, and I know this to be true because I do it with myself, if I start off the day with the intention of today is going to be a good, positive day, that really helps me throughout the rest of my day. Even when something goes wrong, something goes to the left, if it's a busy day at work or my kids may be crying or something like that, I can still repeat to myself, today is going to be a good day. And I just realized after reading that again, that is definitely not about that. It's not a good day. It's about having a bad day and unproductive days. So let me step back. Even though sometimes I may get up with the intention of having a good day, um, you may just not get a good day. It may be an unproductive day. Or if you want to plan unproductive days, that's also good. Last week, last week, my daughter actually caught a cold or something from school, and we all got it. We were all so tired. It just made you sleepy. She tested negative for strep and COVID, so it wasn't that. But we all were just tired. We just wanted to sit down, watch TV, and those were definitely unproductive days. But one of the good things with that, even though it was unproductive with things like to do around the house, cooking, cleaning, things like that, and for my daughter, doing extra schoolwork that she likes to do, it was still, even though it was unproductive in that way, it was still a productive way as far as giving your body that needed rest. So there we go. Next is you deserve love, care, and support. Allow yourself to feel. Don't ignore and hide your feelings. Try to hear and accept them. So that's really a good one. Make sure you're in tune with yourself and your feelings. And act on those feelings depending on what they are. If you're sad, if you need to cry it out, definitely do that. Listen to your emotions and what they are trying to tell you. Uh-oh. The same good you see in others is within you too. Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to repeat that one. The same good you see in others is within you too. It's okay to have days where the only thing you do is survive. So I think that ties back into the other one that says it's okay to have unproductive days. Trust yourself, the journey you are on, and that things get better. Trust yourself, the journey you are on, and that things get better. That's a really good one. So guess what time it is? It's mama time. And what we're going to do This week is finally finish the Self Love Workbook for Women by Megan Lowe. This is a book, I'll have the link in the show notes, that you can purchase from Amazon. This is, as it says, a self love workbook for women. It actually has 8 chapters. We had gotten up to chapter 5, so I'm just going to finish 6, 7, and 8, so that way we can start afresh with a new book. Also, the book has great resources that you can use, and we'll get to that at the end. So I'm just going to go through each chapter really high level. If you have the book, you can definitely go into details. One great thing about the book, it has lots of hands-on things to do. So chapter 5 is called Release Self-Doubt. It actually starts with a self-doubt quiz that you can take. It's a true and false quiz. And it's just asking a few questions to see how self-doubt may have limited your life. And since I'm doing 3 chapters, I'm not going to read off all the questions. Some of the questions are: I believe that others will not like me. I believe I have failed many times. So those are just 2 of the questions from the self-doubt quiz. That's at the beginning of chapter 5. And then in the next pages, it's basically telling you to think of positive things, kind of to replace that self-doubt mentality. Also, next is some what if busters. So kind of think about something negative and try to reframe that into something positive. And let's see what else I have. And it's actually quite a few activities that you can do. And I had something. Okay, here we go. So one of the things that I did want to highlight in the chapter is take an affirming walk. So basically, this is you go on a walk, either a short or a long walk, but during your walk, you say positive things to make you feel good. So basically, short affirmations. And I've actually done this before. This is on page 77. I've done this, and it really does help. Even when you don't feel like that, it is really helpful to say those things over and over in your mind. So some of these are: I am good enough. It's okay. It will work out. They are lucky to have me. And that could be: they are lucky to have me at my job. They are lucky to have me in this relationship. If it's a positive relationship, they are lucky to have me as a friend. I am capable. So those are just a few things. It's actually quite a bit of sayings. It looks like it's about 10 to 15 sayings that you can say on an affirming walk. And then she talks about reframing, which is a true mind shifter. If you can just think about some things, like if you want to go just over, like at night, if you want to think about some negative things that happen throughout your day, you just write those down and reframe them into kind of looking from the inside out. So for instance, if you have one, a good example is: I forgot to wash clothes, or I have so many clothes to wash, I haven't gotten to them. So a good thought, let me rephrase it, excuse me. A good thought is, man, I am so lazy, I haven't washed these clothes. But if you wanted to reframe it, you can always reframe it and say, I have been so busy trying to teach my daughter how to use the potty, or I have been busy just trying to get things together for this time of year. I haven't had time to wash the clothes. So that really takes that blame or that self-doubt of that you're lazy away from that situation, and it puts it back onto the other things that are going on. And sometimes too, you may just have to rephrase, or redo how you're doing things, just depending on your life and the situation the situation that you're in right now. If you have a lot going on, if it's the beginning of the school year, if it's the holiday time, if everybody's birthday is in the same month, that can be a lot going on. So just trying to reframe how you actually think about things. And I was trying to see, Okay. So, just in the conclusion, it says every journey towards self love will certainly have speed bumps and potholes filled with self doubt. When we release these negative messages, we feel empowered and gain freedom from limiting, entrenched beliefs, often stemming from childhood wounds, unhealthy relationships, and negative messages in the world around us. These limiting beliefs can change us by creating insecurities and internalized messages that we are not good enough. Releasing self doubt is an act of self love. So that's a really good quote. Next, after we've released our self doubt, the chapter following this is chapter 6 is build your self worth. The chapter starts off with a quote from Virginia Woolf. I will go on adventuring, changing, opening my mind and my eyes, refusing to be stamped and stereotyped. The thing is to free oneself to let it find its dimensions, not be impeded. Releasing self doubt. By releasing self doubt, we become free to fill up that space with self worth. Building self worth is like building a house. To start with, we need the right tools and a strong foundation. So that's just some of the introduction. The first thing I wanted to highlight in chapter 6 is plant your self worth garden. If you're looking at us on our YouTube channel, I'm actually holding up. She uses an analogy of seed bags or little seed packets. So she has some positive thoughts at the top, and then she's just saying you think of your own seeds to plant, which is a great way to look at it. Some of the seeds at the top she already did were the packet of kind self talk, using positive thoughts, trying new things, and body positivity. And she's just saying think of some things that are specific for you. Also, in this chapter, she talks about being your own number one fan. Following, okay, so on this page, following are several positive statements to help you feel more confident. Read through them and choose the ones that you like the best or that resonate with you the most. Feel free to personalize the experiences by creating your own statements in the blank spaces. So some of them are I am strong and capable, my feelings are valid and important. I'm learning to love myself every day. So same thing like with that self-care um, walk, just using affirmations to know that you are your number one fan. So replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts. So definitely doing that. And let's see what else we got. I think I went to the end of the chapter. So just for the conclusion, she says once we have a firm foundation, we'll want to examine our interactions with others, so relationships. Part of self love is creating and sustaining positive and healthy relationships. So the next chapter basically talks about heal your relationships. And she's just talking about we'll discover an opportunity to examine our relationships and connections with others, with ourselves and others. So on page 105, she gives some examples of unhealthy relationships and she gives a checklist. Some of the things are gaslighting, name calling, coercion, controlling behavior, jealousy, threats, mistrust, invisibility. So those are definitely all unhealthy relationship traits that you definitely, if you see those signs, if you see those red flags, you probably want to step away from that relationship because it's not healthy. And then she talks about 4 steps to asking for what you want, which is extremely important in keeping positive relationships. Knowing what you want and desire and actually expressing that out loud to the other person in your relationship. That could be your spouse, your partner, your mother, your father, whoever that other person is in that relationship to make sure it's healthy. So the 4 questions are the 4 points are focus on what you like to happen in the encounter. So if you want to make sure you're focusing on a positive interaction, or if you have to approach that person with some type of information. You want to make sure you kind of play that out in your head. Describe the situation and what you want in straightforward terms. Stay focused on what you actually want, so what you thought about. Express appreciation for the others, the other person's willingness to consider their request. So of course it's like a give and take. And just as a conclusion for chapter 7, setting boundaries is a way to practice self love, and it's really needed. Chapter 8, in the final chapter, is embrace who you are. And she starts off with a quote from Laura Anderson: I am beginning to measure myself in strength, not pounds. Sometimes in smiles. So that's a good one. This chapter is basically talking about accepting who you are where you are right now. And she talks about love your quirks, whatever that may be. If you wear glasses, if you have big hair, short hair, long hair, just embracing things that are unique about you. I'm trying to see. Oh, it looks like this. Oh, okay. So here is something really good that you can definitely take. On page 144, there is a self love calendar. And this is actually 30 days. Hold on, it's 28 days of things you can do. She talked about writing a letter to yourself, pick a visualization activity and practice it. So, just 28 days of self love where you can love on yourself. So, take the next month, or if you want to start from today, where you're at right now, and just for 28 days, you take things out. These things, it looks like most of them are less than 10 minutes. You can probably even do some of them in 5 minutes. That way you're not overwhelmed. Take the next 28 days and do that self love calendar. That way you can really hunker down and put self love on your calendar each day. So definitely let us know, leave a comment. Let us know what you're doing for your self care. And also let us know if you finished the self love workbook for women, because this is a nice, hearty workbook that gives you a lot of ideas on how to work on your self care. If you're not reading it and you have another favorite self care book, let us know that in the comments. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll know when our next episode is coming out. All new episodes come out on Mondays, because remember, Mondays are for mamas. And definitely, like I said before, leave a comment so we'll know what you're doing right now. Remember, self care is essential and it's never selfish. Have a great week, mamas.